A 5, a 6, and a 7.
A 5, a 6, and a 7?
Yeah, I just said that. What cameras will Sony release in 2025?
A 5, a 6, and a 7?
Yeah, you got it right. A hope, a wish, and a dream.
What is happening right now?
I'm supposed to say what I say.
A hope, a wish, and a dream? This is so dramatic. I'm scared.
What will OM system users have in 2025?
Why are you setting me up to do this?
You've never seen Karnak.
I've never seen what?
Karnak the Magnificent? Okay, I feel so old right now.
1,000 clowns.
1,000 clowns.
That's what I said. Who put together the NBC fall schedule?
No idea.
Like a Johnny. Okay, this is our podcast for the 2025 camera predictions. We're going to tell you what cameras Canon, Nikon, Sony, Fuji, DJI, everybody's going to release because we could literally see the future.
Okay, I'm still just so shocked. I didn't hear anything you just said because I'm just still stunned, but we're going to talk about the predictions we made in 2024, which ones we got right, which ones were epic failures, and then we're going to do the same thing again, just more epic failures. But first, a word from our sponsor, Squarespace. If you want your own website, portfolio, store, a gallery to sell your beautiful pictures or whatever you're selling, or a place to book clients, take appointments, or sign documents, you can make it all happen on Squarespace because they're great for your business. So you can try it out for 14 days to see if it's right for you. And when you decide to get it, you can use the coupon code Chelsea and get 10% off.
Just to establish us as expert psychics, let's talk about our 2024 predictions that we made a year ago and our amazing record of predicting the future, which is hard. Okay? For Nikon,
I will just preface this by saying we're hopeful people, so we have that going for us. We thought Nikon would give us an A9 III competitor.
Okay, that's one we didn't get.
No.
But we did predict a Z6 III and a Z7 III, and we were half right.
Yeah, if we just keep putting numbers after things, we should be safe.
Eventually we'll get it right.
We'll be fine.
And for Sony, okay, we did this pretty good. I predicted an A1 Mark II with Sony's AI chip, and that's pretty much exactly what we got.
But you also invented like an Android camera, like a camera based on the Android platform, and convinced yourself that it was possible, but no one else is even talking about it. So
literally there's nothing.
And then we also thought maybe they would develop a cheaper full frame camera because like full frame sensors are not that expensive anymore.
Yeah,
so
like 1,000, no, it
didn't happen. I mean, we were hopeful like, they could do it, but then also why would they? So we had a good idea, but it wasn't. And then
okay, even the weatherman's wrong sometimes, but for Canon we did really good. Like we predicted an R1 and an R5 Mark II.
Wait.
Those definitely happened.
But we also predicted the R1 for like 4 years.
we were eventually correct. A stopped clock is a right twice a day. We did predict the 70-200 f2.8 that we now finally got, and that's great. So we were right about that, mostly because of Canon rumors.
But we also held on to hopes that they'd come out with like a 100 megapixel camera because we went to a Canon expo years ago and they were showing off really high megapixel cameras. So we were just like, it's coming, it's coming, it's coming. And it never did.
You can't blame me if I just believe Canon when they talk about what they're going to do, right?
No, I could do whatever. You'd be surprised.
Well, let's go right into the Canon predictions then, because I'm going to start with that. I'm going to predict once again they're going to release a 100 megapixel camera, and eventually I have to be right. I want an R5 SR, 100 megapixels, no anti-aliasing filter. Doesn't have to be a fast sensor, a slow sensor. Give me something for studio, for landscapes. We need that, Canon.
Okay, I could see that making sense. Like the 5D SR?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, exactly. I love the 5 DSR.
Okay, you got me hyped up on the crazy juice again. I have a really crazy one, and it's like a retro Canon camera because Fuji's having luck with that. Nikon came out with the ZF and everyone liked it. Why wouldn't Canon? And I thought this would be exciting for them. And then I went on Camera Rumors and they also believed it. And they said it's the 50th anniversary of the AE1, which I did not know. So thank you, Canon Rumors. So they believe it too. And so maybe it's more possible if more people believe it.
I would snap up an AE1
That'd be cool.
designed
Yeah,
modern camera. Oh, that'd be great. I think
Would snap it up.
this is the year we'll get an R6 Mark III, like a baby R1, basically. Low megapixels, super sporty.
What if they announced it like a pregnancy announcement?
Oh, that would be cute.
We're having a
little happy
baby.
papa. Yeah.
Okay.
And I think we'll get an APS-C wildlife camera, like a proper one. Like we liked the original R7.
Yeah.
But when you shoot silently, when you shoot fast, the rolling shutter was so bad, all our painting shots were just all warpy and ruined.
So they fixed that in the R5 too, so we know they can fix it. So
Yeah.
maybe they'll do that with
Yeah,
the
give us a
R7.
stacked sensor APS-C camera for us wildlife shooters.
Speaking of sensors, I think there's going to be more sensor development. You're seeing rumors that they're going to have a global shutter on a camera, right?
Yeah, well, they're selling an APS-C global shutter sensor, but only 10 megapixels. So it's a video sensor.
I think they're going to keep pushing the global shutter technology because Sony has it, Nikon kind of acquired it through Red, and so they're going to have to compete with Sony because right now the A9 III is just kicking butt with frame rates and everything.
Well, the number one way to predict what any camera company is going to do is just look at what the competitors did, because they all are just like watching each other and copying from each other's homework all the time. I think we're finally going to get a compact 600 f4. Because again, like 12 years ago, Canon brought us out to the Canon Expo and showed us like a 600 f4 like professional grade lens that was like this big. And they were using their DO optics. And then they never gave it to us, even though we wanted it so bad. I think they've been working on it. I think it'll eventually happen.
I just read an article that I think like the CEO of Canon said they were going to start doing things with lenses that no one thought was possible. So perhaps that's it. But they also came out with an interesting camera, the 24-105 with a fixed f2.8 lens, so a big aperture. So I'm thinking more telephoto lenses with a big fixed aperture, zooms. So maybe something like a 300 to 600 f4.
Maybe so, because Canon's not afraid to make big stuff. Like for Sony, they won't make anything big. They want everything to be super compact. And so Canon's just like, yeah, we'll give you a huge camera, we'll give you huge lenses, whatever.
Yeah, whatever. We don't care. We're Canon. I don't know. I don't even believe that. I'm just making it up. Okay. Canon Rumors also said that a macro lens will be released the first half of 2025. So I'll be curious to see if that comes
makes
true.
Sense.
I think that they're going to have firmware updates to improve AI, improve autofocus subject detection. Because
R5 II really needs it.
the R5 II is very, very good, but I think it's still lagging behind the A1 II now.
For wildlife stuff.
For wildlife.
The more I use it, the more frustrated I get. Like it's
told
been real
you.
hit or
I
miss. It
told
just keeps
you.
jumping to the background.
It's jumpy.
I don't even know that it's as good as the R5 a lot of the time.
I know you have your technical testing, but I have what I call intuitive testing, and that's I can hold something, be like something ain't right, something ain't right, and I think they need to improve on that. So I'm thinking firmware updates. And then I also think they're going to work on faster readout speeds because with the R5 II, they almost eliminated rolling shutter, but with fast panning, I still saw it. And I think that that's going to be a weakness for them going forward with advancing other elements of their technology. So I think they're going to need the faster readout speed. We'll see.
Let's talk about Nikon. The big news for them in 2024 was they bought Red cinema cameras, which was huge. So we expect them to move strong into the video field. And they've started that already.
More cross-pollination overall. We've seen this in a few areas. Like they were bragging that, not bragging, but they were saying that Red cameras were going to come out with a Z mount that they hope to.
Yeah, and I think we'll see that in 2025. Just today, Nikon launched a firmware update for the Nikon Z9 that added a bunch of like really useful video features, but only video features that cinematographers would want.
Yeah.
Not stuff that the average YouTuber would want. So they're trying to get more serious about it. I think they'll continue rolling out firmware updates. And I think we'll see a Z9 Mark II maybe near the end of 2025. Like, it's due.
Yeah.
And they've added as many firmware updates as they can to the Z9. Like, I think they need a new hardware platform at some point.
I think this is a smart strategy for them, just like trying to get all of the video nerds rounded up because everybody's doing video now. Video is the future, so it makes sense that they're doing this, integrating all the red stuff. What about an A9 III or R1 competitor?
I mean, I predicted that last year when we shot the Jets game. There was a lot of professional Nikon shooters on the sidelines with Z9s.
Where
But
do you
they're
go from a
limited to-
Z9? Oh, sorry.
Oh, well, to Z9 Mark II probably, right? Or
Or
maybe it's like a, I don't know,
I'd come up with the Z0.
Z0.
And then I was thinking like the Z, like zeros, but like Eros, like the Greek god of love, because you'll fall in love with it. The Zeros.
The Zeros.
And then I also thought if it's boring, it could just be like, zzz, like you're sleeping.
Okay.
Just putting it out there to marketing.
We each did our own comedy writing for this podcast, by the way.
No, I had a punch-up writer.
Oh,
Yeah,
no.
yeah, that's punching it up. You know what? You could punch up every time you need it. Your very own Squarespace, and it's easy to do. In fact, I'm due to update my Squarespace. I like to one-up myself. I look at my pictures and I'll be like, that's actually not my best work anymore. I've taken better photos. Or I'll look at a picture and say, I'm disappointed that's my best work right now. I'm gonna go take more pictures. It doesn't have to just be a practical place to host your business. It can also just be an inspirational place to motivate yourself and highlight your best work. You can get your own for free for 14 days. You don't have to put in a credit card or remember to cancel. It's not a trick like that. Just try it. I think you're gonna love seeing your photos in a clean place without ads all over it. Go to squarespace.com/Chelsea. And when you decide to buy it, which I think you will, use the coupon code Chelsea to get 10% off. That saves you 10% on your first purchase, but it also tells Squarespace that I'm Chelsea and I'm doing a great job.
Thanks, Squarespace. Okay, let's predict what Sony, DJI, Fuji will launch in 2025. And some of my Sony predictions are just going to be recycled.
Okay, but we nailed the Sony predictions last year.
Yeah.
So we've got to really bring our A game.
First of all, I'm not...
Anti-theft technology. Oh, what?
Wait, you're predicting that?
I have to. I can't just give up on it. I've been trying to make this happen for years. People keep getting robbed, and if there's not hope in me, how can I see hope in the world?
Well, I don't have any hope. I gave up.
Well, I am.
I don't think they're bringing Android. I don't think we're getting anti-theft. Ever. I don't think we're ever getting it. I think they will be frozen with that 1990s user interface. We will never see sophisticated software
That
later
was
then.
like a slap in my face. I need something to believe in. Okay, and I believe in anti-theft technology, and
Sony's the one to do it for you, huh?
possibly. What were you gonna say?
I think the only company that might bring us anti-theft is going to be Hasselblad. I don't think we're going to get it. I do think Sony will finally give us a cheaper full-frame camera, the A5 that I've been talking about. And I think we'll get an A6900, which will be like an APS-C wildlife camera with high frame rates, like 30 frames per second, like a baby A9 III. Aw.
I think we'll get an A6
An A6.
eventually.
Oh, okay. They've never done like full-frame, even numbered.
Anything could happen if you just keep putting the numbers higher. We're gonna get. All right. What else do you think?
We do all of our out-of-studio stuff with the Sony a7S III, like a great video camera, runs forever. I think they'll increment that, and I think they'll add the AI autofocus to it, and a few more video features that are more modern, and that'll probably be that, probably a faster readout from the 12 megapixel sensor, but still 12 megapixels.
Adding their AI autofocus would be helpful. I'd like to see that almost as much as anti-theft or something new.
One of the big trends has been like fun cameras. Do you think Sony can be fun?
Yeah, Sony can be fun, but I was thinking about this, like their product line is really neat. I feel like they're always open to feedback, but closed to like doing something too new and crazy. Because even like their retroist cameras, like the A7C got like a silver top, which looks really nice, but it's just a very competent camera and a compact body that's still just, you know, good.
Yeah.
Which is good. But I was wondering if they would ever dare to harken back to their roots and do something like a 90s retro point and shoot, because it's very much in style. they wouldn't have to expand their product line. They could just release it as a one-off possibly. It's not like you have to like keep up the technology. It's already old technology. It'd be pretty cool too if you could just put a little chip in there so it could just be digital, like transfer to your phone or something.
Yeah, the Gen Z is like loving the old Mavica cameras that Sony made.
Yeah, that'd
That
be
would be
cool.
cool.
A new old Mavica.
I have a hard time imagining them like being fun. They're so like business with their cameras.
Yeah.
We'll see. Maybe they'll do it.
I don't think they're going to do it, but I wish they would. I think that would be cool. And there's definitely a market for it. Like Instax is the biggest seller for Fuji, so I'm surprised they wouldn't all try to just cash in on this thing where people want an affordable, fun camera. Not everybody's super serious. So how about DJI? Because we had done entire videos with DJI predicting that they'd just come out with a stills camera. Do you think that's possible in 2025?
I do think they will continue to compete more and more with Sony and Canon and now Nikon in that like crossover video market. So they already have full frame cameras like integrated into a gimbal, like the Zenmuse X9. I think we'll see a lower end version of that hits a lower price point. I'm going to call it the DJI Ronin 3D, which will be a full frame camera. And I think they'll continue to add to their like gimbal optimized full frame lenses. And they're just going to be moving down market. And I'll make the prediction that 2025 is going to be the year that a lot more YouTubers move over to DJI. Like a lot of us now are using the Pocket 3.
Right.
But I think a lot of the Sony A7S III shooters are going to transition over to this new DJI camera because DJI has really close connections with lots of YouTubers. They make great software, and I bet they'll be able to make something really appealing.
They're also doing a really good job of integrating, almost like Apple. Like their mics work really well, and then like the Pocket 3 works really well. And so if they just create this system where it works well enough together that it would be uncomfortable to not use their camera, then people like easy, intuitive things, and they're doing that.
Yeah, and if we're right about that, they could really steal huge amounts of market share. I also think we'll see a Mavic 4 drone or a Mavic 4 Pro drone.
People are not really into drones right now.
No, that's a good point. I am literally afraid to fly my drone. I know somebody's going to call the police, but nonetheless, it will continue. Maybe we won't even be able to get it in the United States, but I do think they'll launch it. I want them to release something with a wider angle lens. Like I want 20 millimeter equivalent and hopefully a faster lens. I really want better low light performance because we shoot a lot like during the golden hour, during the blue hour when things are kind of dim. In addition to that, I'd like them to take it more seriously as a stills camera. So I'd love higher megapixels. I'd love some computational photography in there because we've sold a few large prints from drones because they reach angles for like home and landscape shots that you can't get with a traditional camera. But the image quality is kind of lame. Like they're more video optimized. The still image quality, not that good. Not even as good as your smartphone generally, because your phone has computational photography. I want computational photography, higher megapixels, bigger lenses.
Those are big asks, but I think they can do it.
Yeah, I know the drone's gonna have to be bigger, but yeah, I want that.
Maybe the size of a truck.
It could be. That shouldn't freak anybody out. I'm sure they won't mind.
All right, Fujifilm. How about a new Instax?
Fuji's loving Instax. Like, if you count Instax, they're the #1 camera company. They're beating Canon and Sony. They're selling so many of these Instax cameras, and they are really fun.
They are fun. We just made a video comparing all of the instant film cameras, including a bunch of Instax. And so we figured out the best ones. And I bought one for my friend's daughter because we had so much fun shooting with all of them. So,
but they have a hole right now.
R5 shows a very artificially bent club.
Square.
The R5 Mark II,
But
it's a
they
little
don't
bent,
have a
but
camera
it's
with manual
significantly
creative
better.
controls
The
right now.
original
They used to.
R5
They
would
discontinued
produce
it.
better
Now they only
images
have
if
a
you used the
fully
mechanical
automatic
shutter,
Instax Square.
but in professional
Give
golf
me an
photography,
Instax
you're required to shoot.
SQ99, maybe something like the Mini 99, but with the Instax Square.
the thing they
No.
discontinued?
They had something like that, but they discontinued.
Oh, okay. All right.
I also think once again they're gonna release an X Pro 4.
Yeah.
Like it's due. I love the X Pro camera, one of the most fun ones, and it's really, really old right now.
Fuji also has a crazy rumor.
Yeah, about the medium format fixed lens camera.
Yeah, medium format and a fixed lens, and it's not
100 megapixels.
100 megapixels, and not a super fast lens. Like they're saying maybe a 28mm f2.5.
Yeah, that's coming from Fuji rumors, and they're also saying it's not stabilized. But the more I think about it, the more I think they wouldn't do that. It would be insane to give you a slow lens with a 100 megapixel sensor and no stabilization. So I'm going to say optically stabilized lens.
All right, we've made a lot of like informed predictions this year, but I don't think we really went full out with anything fun. Like, is there anything you want that seems impossible?
Yeah, I want anti-theft, and I want encryption. I want integrated GPS. I want fast communications. I want authentication, and I want a cellular connection with tracking so that people can't just steal my camera. Yeah, I have a long list of things I want, but I've like given up hope. I used to predict these things every year, thinking that they would listen, and now I'm a crushed man with no hopes.
That was easy. It was easy to crush you, honestly.
I mean, it's been like 11 years that we've been.
I'll never give up hope.
Wow.
I'm going to keep asking until you feel disgusted with yourself. And what are you all predicting? What do you want? What are your hopes and dreams versus what do you think will just happen or what won't happen? You can tell us in the comments below. If you like this video, we make them just about every year, so you can check out the old ones or any other videos that we've made. Thanks so much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and thank you Squarespace for making this podcast possible. If you want to check out Squarespace, I highly recommend it. We both have it and we like it. We talk to other people that get them and like it. We truly believe in the product, and there's nothing to lose. You can just try it for 14 days for free. And then if you like it, you can use the coupon code Chelsea and get 10% off. So thanks Squarespace, and see y'all next time.
Bye.